You truly belong here with us among the clouds. Everyone's invited, of course. I've just made a deal that'll keep the Empire out of here forever.
Welcome to episode 2 of Cloud City Casual. Hopefully everybody listened to episode 1 to find out who we are and what we're doing here. Answer, talking about Star Wars Destiny, a fantastic card and dice game. If you don't know what it is, please tell me why you clicked on this podcast so we can market better. I am Patty, and next to me I have...
the famous one, Hoover, who started this whole thing together, the OG Casual.
This is Marty.
And this is Nick, the Two-Die Wonder. So, what were we doing for this episode?
So this episode, if you listen to our first episode, you can tell that we had kind of a rough outline that we were working with. And if you really listened, you could hear the intricacies that we didn't follow that outline at all. So we decided, instead of having a rough outline that we don't follow, we're just going to not have an outline and wander aimlessly through podcasting land. But we do have a couple things of what we want to talk about, like the upcoming Way of the Force set.
Yes.
For those of you in the future, which we all hope to live in one day, Way of the Force is already out. But in past land, Way of the Force is not out quite yet. So we're going to be talking about it as if it hadn't come out yet, because to us, it hasn't. Time is wondrous and always moving forward. The first thing we're going to talk about, though, is some characters that we're really hype about, and some cards that we're really hype about. How about them DJs?
I love him.
DJ is amazing.
He's
That
my
DJ.
favorite.
Marty, what does DJ do?
DJ has the ability that when you remove dice of an opponent's dice, you can deal indirect equal to the amount of dice that you removed.
What a man that Benicio del Toro is.
What
a man.
He is a good man. And halfway through the game, he actually becomes a hero card, so watch out for that.
Ooh.
Spoiler alert, everybody. Spoiler alert. So yeah, I'm really excited for DJ. There's going to be some good things with him with Phasma, I feel. Get a lot of removal. DJ's going to make some of those removal cards that weren't that great initially. Cards like Defend, cards like, what's the other one that's in the same...
Dive.
Dodge.
Dive.
Dip, dodge, and dive.
Yep,
Dodge,
all those
yeah,
Ds.
dodge.
You
is the
can
original,
remove a
yeah.
die, you can dodge a ball.
Yep, if you can do all those, if you're hitting them if you're removing 3 of their dice, it's 3 indirect damage.
Right.
That's huge. A lot of people are kind of poo-pooing DJ right now, but
Well, on the
Can't poo-poo 'em.
dodge and block aspect, even though those cards are going to get meted out, I don't think that's a bad play either, because block and dodge have no limit. They just don't have the ambush.
that's true.
You can remove all of an opponent's die showing. And in the damage race, being able to remove 4 or 5 versus 3 could be huge.
And especially when we look at characters like the new Dooku, who when he rolls out can fix his dice automatically. What happens when that Dooku rolls out with a Electro Staff on him and he's showing 9 damage? Well, simple.
You remove all 3
You
of it.
remove all 3 of them, hit them for 3 indirect, and then they're wondering why your silly little casual character just did some serious work. So that's a card I'm super excited for. What are you guys excited for?
All right, well, as kind of discussed last time with my 4-wide nonsense, I'm a huge fan of vehicles. I love support decks. I think that's been my calling with Destiny recently. So I want to talk about probably my favorite new vehicle coming out, which is the N1 Starfighter, Naboo's finest. So for those that haven't really paid attention, because it was just spoiler heavy for the last few weeks, the N1 Starfighter is a 3-drop yellow hero vehicle with 2 range, 3 indirect, 2 shields, 1 resource, and a special. And that special is ready or discard an exhausted vehicle that is not a copy of this support. Which means if you have a really big time vehicle that you keep consistently rolling out damage, after you hit it for, I don't know, 3 indirect damage on a resistance bomber, or you hit that 3 range on a Fang fighter, if you hit the special on the Starfighter, you can just re-roll it out. And so you can just keep consistently getting more damage off with your vehicles, which is amazing to me. And as a vehicle player, I'm really excited for this card.
And you can vandalize your opponent's supports and not even their vehicles. Like, if they have a tapped buy, is it vehicles only?
It is vehicles
Well,
only.
never mind. Disregard everything that I said I am going to.
But
Don't worry, we will continue to.
But it will make the mirror match really, really interesting with a card like this.
I'm going to jump on Hoover's back because he consistently carries the team. And I'm going to go with another vehicle / droid / support that I'm very excited about, which is the
A lot of
health.
slashes in there.
There are.
There's a lot. It is everything you want it to be, including a neutral card, which means you can play it in hero vehicle decks, which is interesting. And I suppose you can make the argument that since it is a droid, it doesn't technically have a allegiance or loyalty to any one side.
Are you saying BB-8 is not loyal to the Resistance?
Yes.
I absolutely am.
I feel hurt.
Hailfire Droid Tank is the card that I
Hold on,
want to
it's a
talk
neutral
about. This is a 4-cost red vehicle. As I said before, it is neutral. One of the big things about it, has no blanks.
Ooh.
It has no blanks. It only has one crappy side, which is the 2 disrupt. But even to have 2 disrupt is big, and when you're playing a vehicle deck for your opponent not to have resources to remove your dice is huge.
Am I right in thinking that's one of the lowest cost dice that have no blanks on it?
4 is usually the limit. I mean,
pretty
ever
good.
since Awakenings, when we had the 4-cost blue one with the Force.
Oh, one
that
with the
was one
Force.
of the-
Yep, I
that
forgot
was
about
one
one
of
with
the
the
big
Force.
ones.
Master of the Council.
Master of the Council has no blank. So 4 is usually the limit for a no blank die. But in terms of a vehicle to not have it, the only previous one to not have any blanks was the Ghost, which is semi-okay in terms of a 4-cost vehicle.
ATST?
ATST is a 6-cost.
Oh, it's a 6 cost, but there's no blanks on
I
that
was
big
saying
guy.
a 4
I think
cost.
the highest.
Well, of
That
course
was
you
my
were.
I think the highest cost no blank card is Yoda. He's 60.
You're also
You're not wrong, Nick.
you're not wrong.
So the reason I'm so excited about this is partly due to all the slashes, the fact that this is a droid / vehicle. Vehicle meaning you can use Rally Aid on it. You can use Tech Team on it because it's a support. Dream plays if you're getting the Rally Aid and the Tech Teams down and you start the battlefield, start with droid in your hand, you can potentially play this thing for free. The other reason that I like it being a droid is because Hoover and I have been discussing adamantly about the new look of the 4-wide, and we will be including baby Anakin in it. And
Ooh.
baby Anakin can try spinning because that's a nice trick, and he can spin droid dice and or pod racer dice, this being a droid eye, to any side. So you can activate Anakin to get this Hailfire to a phenomenal side. I mean, you're talking 2 range, 3 range for a cost, 2 indirect, 3 indirect for free. And not only does this dice have phenomenal sides, the card itself has ridiculous abilities, such as dealing an indirect damage to an opponent every time you play a vehicle.
Oof.
If you get this thing out with Rally Aid with your tech teams, you can be dropping probably 2 vehicles, if not more, a turn. You got those 2 drops and then those 3 drops. You can get those out very easily. And not only does it have that ability, it has the ability that when you play a droid, you can activate that droid immediately. So get your C-3POs out, get your R2-D2s out, which are staples, in my opinion, in a hero vehicle deck. I mean, to not have to use an action to bring that droid out, action cheating in a vehicle deck is stupid and shouldn't be allowed. But now that it is, we'll see how this card really changes what vehicle decks can do. And as a side note, it's a neutral, so maybe we can get some relevance into the villain vehicle decks, which haven't really made an appearance.
I was about to say, what about my girl Afra?
I was about to say too. Just my girl Afra. Can you imagine that ability? You have one of those down. You play a probe droid. Probe droids have ambush, and they're only 1 drops. You ambush, you get to roll its die in right away, anyways, and you can immediately hit cards from their hand. Or, you just have another droid for her.
I went on that trip with you, Nick, and I can't say I was disappointed. So,
It was good scenery.
oh, some good scenery on that scenic drive. So what are we looking at on your end?
So, there's so much good stuff, to be honest. There's so many things I'm excited for, but as far as, like, casual, like, excited for Way of the Force, my boy Grievous.
Oh, Greavy.
He has the ability to have 4 upgrades on him, which is what I've been saying he should have had since
he has 4
they
arms.
Yeah, exactly. Why would there be a Grievous card without 4 upgrades? He has, like, basically an heirloom saber die. For his die, it's 1 melee, 2 melee, 3 melee, 2 disrupt, and then a resource. 13 health, which he's a 20-point elite, 15 non-elite, so he's expensive, but 13 health is OG Vader health, which is nuts. Ignore all play restrictions on weapons played on this character, and he can have an additional upgrade, which means you can throw crafteds on him without him being exhausted. You can give him Maul Saber, which is disgusting. Does a lot of stuff. If you have yellow with him, you can throw Darksaber on him for that +2 on all the sides. And I have like 3 different ideas already for Grievous decks. I think Royal Guard Grievous will be good, just because blue Guardian, you can run him Elite, throw Maul Saber in there. But the one I'm most excited for is 1 die Grievous, which is 15 points, and then Elite 9s, who's 15 points Elite. Because when you play 9s, you have to target 9s first, or else you lose, because he just gets all the upgrades.
Well, after the errata, 9s isn't as scary, but he's still pretty scary.
Yeah, he can still do some work.
So here's my so you throw, because being red villain, Grievous on his own has access to all 6 of the 1-cost weapon upgrades in the game, which is the 2 hunting rifles, the 2 baby blasters, the DH-17s.
DH-17?
Yep.
I'm on board the second you say hunting rifle.
Yep, and then the frag grenades.
Yes.
So you throw all those in the deck, and then you throw a bunch of redeploy weapons. And if you get 1-drops, you play them on Grievous. If you get a redeploy, you play it on 9s. When they kill 9s, all of that goes to Grievous, roll in Grievous, power action, and then throw dice at them.
Sounds like a pretty good plan.
It's gonna suck. I love it.
I'm
so
great.
excited.
So I'm gonna cheat just a little bit and say a card that I think is gonna be legitimately good, but something I'm very excited for, and something I'm probably not gonna use in a legitimately good way, and that is my boy Pearface himself, Snoke. We all know
The callbacks.
The callbacks. To
Spoilers.
something that may or may not have made it into the first episode. We're not sure who has editing software and can listen back to things anyways.
It's in this episode.
It's in this episode.
Yeah.
Perfect. Look at that. Kayfabe.
You
So
can't
Snoke.
fave.
So Snoke. If you haven't seen Snoke, Snoke has this really bonkers good ability. Deal a damage to another one of your characters, then resolve one of that character's die, increasing its value by 2.
That is a power action.
That is a power action. We're going to do that once. But there's been a deck that I've been playing around with a little bit with a little bounty hunter named Cad Bane. Cad Bane, one of my all-time favorite characters that just unfortunately was always a little too expensive and a little too pay-heavy to really make it into competitive decks. But today, I was able to live the dream, and that's go turn 1, discard 4 cards at random from your opponent's hand. Turn 1, action 1. That's pretty crazy, and you accomplish that by, of course, going Truce, playing any ambush weapon with Cad Bane's ability, rolling out, hitting that 2 discard for one side, and then using the Snoke power action. When your opponent starts the game with 1 card in hand after they mulliganed, that's a pretty feel-bad moment. I don't know about you guys, but my cards that I pick after my mulligan are very important and very precious to me.
Yes.
Hitting a Shoto or an Ancient or a Second Chance, that could be ludicrous. But of course,
Luda.
if you do that to Sabine, the boogeyman of Destiny,
I was gonna bring that up earlier when you were playing.
she just wins anyways.
She just gets him back.
And that's a big caveat to actually my first card I talked about earlier, and that's DJ. DJ could be really good this game, or DJ could be really bad, and really the choice depends on how good action cheating is.
Mm-hmm.
If cards like Hit and Run come back with a vengeance, if Sabine is still phenomenal,
Quick draw.
a Quick Draw, Cad Bane, anything that lets you roll out and resolve before your opponent has a chance to do anything is really gonna kind of poop all over DJ. And that's a really big bummer to me, because, you know, I like Benicio del Toro. I want him to be shiny and fantastic.
I know.
Sicario.
So-
Sicario.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. DJ.
Yeah.
Sicario of the Star Wars world.
It's true. It's a true story.
Very true.
My argument or not argument, I guess, but my observation is that it doesn't look like Way of the Force really has much new action cheating, which it's still strong already, I think.
And it's very strong.
But there's nothing extra for it now. So I think that is what will help DJ be good.
It just depends on if the action cheating that's there right now is actually impacted. If that extract card that does let you remove cards out of your opponent's discard pile really does hit Sabine in the way that Fantasy Flight wanted it to hit Sabine.
Right.
Sabine's been our boogeyman for a while now. It's
The
if you
Boba Yaga.
the Babadook.
Yeah. Boba Yaga.
Uh,
Sabine is the John Wick of the Destiny.
There we go. Sabine is the John
Come
Wick.
to me for all of your pop culture comparisons.
yeah, we
killed
killed
her
it. We
dog.
killed whoever took down Ezra first.
Yeah.
They killed her puppy.
That's just very true.
Yeah.
And welcome to our brand new podcast, the John Wick Cast, where we talk about how much we love John Wick.
I've
Who
never
doesn't?
seen John Wick.
Who
What?
doesn't?
I know.
You
I'm
are
sorry.
fired from the podcast.
You are out of here.
We will be splitting your pay 3 ways.
Ladies and gentlemen, that
we're
was
getting
Nick.
paid?
You
Yes.
will never hear from him again.
To go back to Patty's point with DJ and the dice removal and in terms of action cheating in Way of the Force, I think another big thing to look at Way of the Force is the fact that you're going to be able to play more upgrades than ever before, faster. Look at Plo Koon with the double Padawans, being
Ooh.
able to play those
You mean,
upgrades for...
Dokun.
Exactly.
Dokun.
Being able to play those upgrades almost for free. I mean, just like Patty was saying with your mulligans, sometimes it sucks to get 5 upgrades stuck in your hand. Way of the Force is going to make you able to play most of those upgrades, if not all of them. So in terms of DJ and the way that he's going to work, if your opponent has to take time to play those upgrades down, activating DJ and maybe having his ability, may be good, but it is tough to hold on. And playing that pass game is always a dangerous game. If you're continually passing, just waiting to be able to remove your opponent's dice, that's going to be tough. And not only Plo Koon, but talk about build to last, that's another way to get out cheap upgrades. So I think just getting upgrades out is going to be bigger than ever in Way of the Force.
And jump off the built to last aspect, there's a new card coming out that's been spoiled and really talked about is Hone Skills.
Love that
which,
card.
much like Defensive Teaching, increases the value of 1 of something. So with Hone Skills, you can have your characters have 1 additional upgrade. So that's 4 upgrades right off the bat. You get 2 of them down, that's 5.
Yep.
With Built to Last, out of a little testing that I've done, you can afford to have 4 or 5 upgrades on your last character. Especially with everything redeploying, it is insane. And when you're rolling out 7 dice off of 1 character just to finish a game.
8 dice, excuse you, for Grievous Royal Guard.
You can stop, Nick, now.
I thought we kicked you out of this podcast.
Why are you still here?
I don't have anywhere else to go.
That's
This
true.
is
We are
my
doing.
home.
We are doing it at Nick's house.
We are.
Throwing him out of his own house seems very cruel, but we are prepared to try it.
It's a very filthy casual thing to do.
Speaking of very filthy casual things to do, I seem to recall a very, shall I say, controversial book being in your Built to Last deck there, Hoover.
Oh, yes!
The Patty connection.
Okay, so, what is the worst die card of all time to get out of a pack?
Marty, let's see if you know this answer.
I would say BB-8 from Awakenings, but BB-8 actually has some relevance as he was in a regional winning deck.
Shout out to Eric Wainwright.
BB-8 does some work.
Wait.
BB Swag.
But the correct answer, of course, is a pretty useless book called The Journals of Ben Kenobi.
Hey man, you can guard off that +1 melee side.
You can guard off that +1 melee side, or take a resource.
Or deal 3 damage to me like Hoover did last
I
night.
did.
The stupid +1.
Because when you have Luke's 1 melee, R2's 1 melee, and the +1 off the journals for 3 damage. Why not?
I have been making fun of Journals of Ben Kenobi since the moment I tried to play with it in a deck and realized it was the hottest of hot garbage. But Hoover has this special superpower where he can take Journals of Ben Kenobi and somehow win games with it.
It's called being a filthy casual.
It is called being a filthy casual, because it's a terrible card, but when you can turn 1, use Built to Last to get it out for free, and then you can overwrite it later on for that Ray Saber, because even if you spend the resources on removal, you still have enough resources to have Built to Last work. And it I don't know, I like it. The Journal's maybe a terrible card, but as a ramp card itself, it's not bad. It's not bad.
It's a free drop with Built to Last, so I mean, why not?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why not, but
Just with everything else in life that's free. Like,
Patty is just salty that I beat him twice with it.
why not eat the food out
The-
the garbage?
I do definitely have some salt issues. My sodium intake has risen substantially since seeing Journals of Ben Kenobi and having it beat me multiple times. Multiple times.
Multiple times.
You wanna? How many times was that, Patty?
Multiple.
Multiple?
Nick, what are you planning on building once Way of the Force officially drops?
Well, obviously Grievous is super dope to me. I'm really sad that the K2SO doesn't have the subtype of being a droid, because my first thought when I saw Yellow Annie's ability was that if you run him elite with K2SO elite, you can activate K2SO and then activate Annie to fix his dice. By the way, Fantasy Flight, if you're listening to this, first of all, why? Thank you. We appreciate it very much. Second of all, please make K2SO a droid retroactively so I can make shenanigans.
Please just make K2SO playable.
Yes.
Just period, playable.
Because I
like
love
it.
him. He's one of my favorite. But I really am excited for Cassian, specifically Cassian Leia, because that deck can just pump out damage like crazy.
It's real. It's real.
Played it twice today. I played it against Hoover, who was running Luke, Ayla, Built to Last, and he beat me with it, but it was a really close game.
Mm-hmm.
And I played it against the Cad Bane Snoke Terror and destroyed him with it because of how much damage I did.
Destroyed is a strong word.
To be fair.
It's an accurate word, but it's a strong word.
And that was with one gun. Because my opening hand was Truce, Second Chance, and 3 other cards that you ended up making me discard. So I truced into Second Chance and just went very steady and strong. And I've never been so excited for a red villain character as I am for Orinda Price, because Price Kylo is going to be phenomenal, and Price Baby Vader is going to be fun.
I think you mean Price Quinlan boss.
Ooh,
I did
now
think about
Marty
that,
is
actually.
speaking my language. Marty, what's your favorite Quinlan Voss deck?
Well, it's going to be Price Quinlan Voss, because, forgive me, there is another, I believe it was red card or blue card that was spoiled from Waves, which is going to allow you to draw a significant amount of cards.
I don't remember.
I don't remember, but I do believe you, because as we were saying earlier, it just came out of nowhere. I believe a store just posted all of the spoilers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we went from knowing 40 out of 160
About
cards
60,
Yep.
to just knowing the whole set. And don't get me wrong, that store is very cromulent people that posted that. Cromulent, for those of you who don't know, is a great word. It's a phenomenal word. It just means nice. It's a nice word, so don't think I'm insulting them if you don't know what cromulent is. But it's a very cromulent store that posted that, so we now know everything in the set. But at the same time, it's just a brain overload. And when you're us, your brains are already so full of good...
Obscure Simpsons references?
Whoa. Obscure, yes. Simpsons reference, yes.
Yeah, also yes. What was your point? I forgot.
All right, so to get us back on track here,
I had a point in episode 1. I lost it by now.
as Marty is looking for the card that he was going to talk about, I'll segue off to some cards that did get spoiled out of that list that Patty referenced, which is more Gungan support, because that's what we all need in life.
Oh my god, I'm
The
sorry.
Gungans.
Because I'm building a Gungan deck for the fun of it, and I can't wait. So, you might have known about Dumb Luck, which was a 1-cost, reroll 5 dice. For each one that rolls a blank, deal an indirect damage.
Yep.
We might
Which
have learned
Journals
that.
of Ben Kenobi will also be
Which
great with.
will be fantastic if you somehow get a blue character in a Gungan deck.
Yeah, what blue Gungans are there, Nick?
Darth Jar Jar.
Darth Jar Jar, first of all.
Shout out to FFG, please make this card. So secondly, let's talk about a couple of the new ones, because the Gungans have 2 uncommons. So you know that one card in the pack that you get as an uncommon has a good chance of being a Gungan support.
Ooh.
So we've talked about the Dumb Luck, but let's talk about Gungan Offensive. It's a 2-drop. Turn up to 3 of your Gungan or artillery dice to side showing damage.
Ooh, a runaway
Runaway.
Boomba.
I was actually
Runaway-
about to bring that up for the event that lets you reroll too, because it's Runaway Boomas are like 1 indirect, 2 indirect, 3 indirect, 3 blanks.
And Runaway Boomas, and let's talk about the new Gungan artillery that got spoiled from that list.
Ooh, I'm very
Which
excited.
is the Gungan Catapult
Oh my
to
God.
throw those Runaway Boomas.
Any catapult is a friend of mine.
It's a 4-cost support with 2 range, 4 indirect. Shout out to the Resistance Bomber, has a 6 indirect for 2 cost, a 3 disrupt, and 2 blanks, with an ability of after you activate a Gungan, you may reroll this die. So it gets a built-in rookie pilot ability
That's
with
pretty
a
sweet.
Gungan. Is it going to be good? No, but it's going to be fun.
Whoopsie doopsie. And that's, at the end of the day, all that matters.
Is that it'll be fun.
Like 5 Jawas. Is it gonna win? You bet it's not. Is it gonna be fun? Hopefully.
Yeah.
But there is one more to bring up that also did get spoiled.
I don't think it can handle this many Gungans.
It is called the Electro Pull, which
saw
the
that.
art of it is a Gungan in a 2-piece. I'm not going to ask questions, but okay. And so it is a 2-drop red upgrade with the sides of 2 melee. 2 melee for a resource, 2 disrupt, a shield, a resource, and a blank. with an ability of before attached character be defeated, you may move this upgrade to a Gungan. It is the red heirloom lightsaber for Gungans.
Oh,
Which, as we all know, red hero is in need of red melee upgrades because there's so many good red melee characters in hero.
Stop
Red
making
in
K2S
general.
so good, Nick.
I
Stop.
want him to be.
red in general needs some help. Yellow and blue have been the best colors in the game since
Before
set
the game.
2. No, because Leia Akbar, it's a trap.
Yeah, that's true.
That deck was dirty. It was filthy. You could
It's
do
a
nothing
fish.
about it. It's a fish.
Chirrut Akbar. One
Chirrut
of my
Akbar.
personal favorite janks. But, yeah.
In other words, I'm just really excited for this Gungan deck to try it out and to have some fun. So to segue off of that, is there any other fun, random shenanigans you guys are looking forward to in Way of the Force?
I got it.
Oh, Marty got
It
that.
wasn't a card in Way of the Force.
It was a
Using-
dream that came to him.
No. It's using Arinda, Price, and Quinlan in symmetry with psychometry.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
You run the holocron package and you run psychometry, so you're able to draw copious amounts of
Yep.
cards at once.
That sounds amazing.
And because Price is the first representative of really consistent focusing, other than Talzin, of course, but she's a more support-focused character. So the fact that you can use Price to focus Quinlan and potentially focus the psychometry, getting those psychometries out with the holocrons,
It'll do some work.
and you have some dice manipulation involved there too. Lots of cards that let you turn dice to any side, so you can get that psychometry off the way you want to. You can be swinging Quinlan for big hits.
But
And
that-
consistency. That was always the issue with Quinlan. The fact
Exactly.
that he was 15 points. The fact that he's got that very, very, very stupid +2
That awkward
side,
die.
It doesn't make any sense.
It
but
did help in who's
It
the
didn't
Unkar,
help.
in Unkar Quinlan though, because
Don't
you have
listen
that
to him.
+2 and you
Don't
use it
listen
for
to him.
okay.
No, nothing Nick says today is going to be true, guys.
They're not wrong.
Unkar Quinlan, yeah, we've all played that deck.
Well, I did try to make a Quinlan Asajj, of course.
Which was the most popular Quinlan deck today.
The most popular Quinlan deck
/ only.
is like being the fastest snail racer. You're
Right.
not going to be...
Have you never seen Turbo?
We're not talking about Turbo again, Nick.
What are
But correct
these-
me if I'm
oh,
wrong. Arinda is 13, correct?
Yes.
13
Correct,
elite.
yes.
Quinlan's 15. That's 28. That's a stolen intel.
It
Start
is.
the game with 6 hands.
Yeah,
or
which is
6
huge,
cards. Yeah.
huge
And
for
6
Quinlan.
hands. You can also start the game with 6 hands.
If you're having 3 people
If
play.
you're having 3 people play, absolutely. But I think there's a lot of potential there to make it fun. It's not going to be anything significant, but that's not what the show's about. I think that'll be a great casual deck to play.
And that's the biggest thing, too, is really, I think, formats are really what determines what decks are going to be the top-tier decks. Because in the regular standard format, we do see boogeymen pop up that just dominate. Sabine, Ezra.
Or Boogie Women.
Or
So
Boogie Women, that's true. Or Boogie Women. We want to be...
We are a
That sounds
podcast
like a
for
fun
equality.
party.
We are an equality
Boogie
podcast.
people.
Boogie people. Thank you. Thank
That
you.
sounds like
I do, unfortunately,
disco
I
group.
do apologize and deeply regret anything I said that may have offended any boogie people out there. But we do see these decks pop up that just become the Babadook of
the one.
Destiny, where it's just you sit down and you're just instantly terrified to see it. You know, 5-die villain is kind of that for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Sabine, I harp on it a lot, but when you see Sabine, you just get that fear because you know what's going to happen. You know you're just going to get hit with 8 damage out of nowhere on turn 1, and that's sadness. But
No.
really,
Not all of us get the fear. Some of us just immediately accept our inevitable demise and become hollow and dead inside.
that's true. Some of us
Yeah.
still try to fight it, and some
Yeah.
of us just give up. But really,
I give up.
I fight it.
what's so great about this game is that there's so many different formats and ways you can play it to really kind of highlight some of these lesser known characters. Like you guys were telling me about a tournament you played not too long ago. Overcosted, was that right?
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to Twin Suns. Thanks for putting that on.
Yeah, give me the rundown. What is Overcosted as a format?
So, Twin Suns set up a list of overcosted characters that they deemed were too much for their point cost in terms of what they did, their dice.
Oh, there's a lot of them out there.
Number of different reasons. There was 3 villains on there, and I believe 5 heroes.
5 heroes, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because two blue, 2 yellow.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yep. And I think it's interesting how that overcosted tournament was played. You saw a lot of Palpatines, because Palpatine was one of the characters on the list.
Old Palp or New Palp?
New Palp.
Because Old Palp's very fairly costed for what
Old
he
Palp,
does.
Yeah. It was New
You mean
Palpatine.
wins.
Just interesting to see who they paired him with. And then the winner of that deck was actually a Jin Ezra deck, which was just a
Super cool.
pseudo Sabine Ezra, which I think is interesting when you're talking about big 20-point ladies from the yellow hero. Jin and Sabine are really...
Yeah.
I
the
do
top
love
tier.
the Jin card. I wish I could find more to do with it. It's super fun.
I think Jin, what she gets over Sabine is the fact that those discard sides are so rough, and I think her biggest discredit is that the way that ability is worded, it really takes out a lot of those zero-cost events that you want to play for free, and you feel like you're not getting the most out of your event, because it does say the first yellow event you play each turn is free. So those removal cards are probably going to be too slow. If you've got Jin and Ezra rocking together, you're going to want to play those quick draws to get that Sabine emulation going there. So
Yep.
it kind of negates a little bit about what she does, but the fact that she's got the discard sides is huge. Rebel becomes big again, and we have never seen Rebel in a Sabine Ezra deck.
Nope. That is very true.
I
think-
plan on putting it in casting decks because he has 2 discard sides.
Yeah, and Rebel is huge, especially for yellow heroes. To get that second chance,
Third
3
chance.
times, 4 times, get those second chances back after they
Oof.
pop,
Mhm.
that's going to be rough.
Oh, you're hurting my heart.
Back in the old unerrata days when we could ammo belt second chances.
Woo-hoo, those were the good old days.
These youngins don't
Those were the bad
remember,
old
but
days.
I remember when
That just sounds nasty.
I
Oh,
made
it was.
somebody
It was.
I made somebody overkill Chewbacca 3 or 4 times in the old casual game.
You can't see me, but my hand is raised very high up in the air.
It wasn't you, it was Jason.
I know.
The
I
old
lost
days,
to 'em.
and we will talk about the Wild West days of Destiny where Pomaz was running around like it owned the place because it did.
And Vibroknife was throwing copious amounts of unblockable
I missed those
stick
days.
damage.
And
at you.
Phasma was only 13 points elite.
I'm
I
the
do
young
want to
person
say,
playing in Legacies.
I do want to say, shout out to FFG. They do get crap sometimes for not being able to respond fast enough, but in general, they're doing a fantastic job
Oh, yeah.
keeping up and making sure that things that are out of hand get reeled back in. We're not really seeing that right now in the meta for Legacy's meta. There wasn't anything over the top, broken, and bonkers that needed to be. I make fun of Sabine because I play Sabine and I love Sabine. And
Because Patty's trash.
I am. Deep in my heart, I know I'm garbage. But
So we all.
it's one of those things where they're really good at making sure something that needs to be addressed gets addressed. So really big shout out to FFG here. But that was kind of a good rundown of Overcosted. Any other unique tournaments you guys have been to?
We did go to the 3v3 one, which was super dope.
Of course, the 3v3. What was the rundown of the 3v3, Nick? How'd that one work?
That was put on by
Knights, I
Knights
think?
of
Knights of
Ren.
Ren.
Yeah,
Knights of Ren. Shout
Big
out
shout
to
out
Knights
to
of
Knights of
Ren.
Ren.
Yeah. So the 3v3
And
tournament.
that poor bar.
That
That
poor,
poor
poor
bar.
bar.
Shout out to Joe Sensors.
Was that what it was called?
The real
Joe
MVP.
Sensors.
Joe Sensors. Everybody ordering drinks. No one knew where anyone was.
Not wrong.
And no one knew if we were supposed to pay for them or not.
We were supposed to pay for them.
I just got Mountain Dew.
I know
They'll
you
survive.
did. I got
Hashtag
one.
group tab.
Hashtag group tab.
That's terrible.
Hashtag edit this out later.
Anyways, so how did the 3v3 work?
So it was basically each, instead of being one individual player playing for yourself and your win record, you were going as a team of 3 players. And the few main rules were that the 3 players had to play teams that consisted of the same faction. So if one did hero, you all had to do hero, villain, vice versa. Or if you really wanted to be the 3v3 group to do only rivals characters, you'd have to stick to all neutral. Then the other thing was,
Which I think is impossible.
it's
It is not.
5-white Jawa, and then you do other shenanigans. I'm not
Okay.
gonna get it.
Hondo makes it
Yeah.
possible.
Oh,
Hondo
Hondo
does.
makes it
Yeah.
You
possible.
can do
Correct.
Hondo Ketsu and you can do Lobot Anakin,
Yep.
or
There we
vice
go.
versa, and 5 Jawas.
That would have been fun.
So the 3v3 neutral team is coming.
God,
this
that would have
week.
been fun. But the
Just
other
wait.
Next time.
next time.
Next time.
Next
We're
time.
coming.
And the other main thing was that, between the 3 players on the team, so as a team as a whole, you couldn't have more than 2 copies of a card between 3 decks. So I could have a doubt in my deck, Patty could have 1 doubt in his deck, Marty wouldn't be able to have doubt.
That's because Marty has confidence. He doesn't need doubt.
That's
Right.
a hero card. So that would have been
Overconfidence.
Oh, there we go. And then for
Confidence is also a card.
for
I'm a noob. It's fine.
unique cards. You can have 2 copies of a unique card in one of your decks, but you can't have split copies of unique cards. So, like, I couldn't have a Maul Saber. Patty couldn't have a Maul Saber. But one of us could have 2.
And what was really cool about this tournament was that it also extended to characters as well. So you really saw some pretty diverse character choices because not everybody could run Boba 7 or,
Yes.
I hate to say Sabine again because I've said it 18 times this podcast, but I love her.
And the Rey Ayla.
Sabine. Rey Ayla. So we did play, Marty, Nick, and myself. I was on a really great deck that's a lot of fun and totally wins all the time called...
Sorry to cut you off, Patty. I forgot to clarify that for the characters you used, you could only have one copy of a unique character per, so we couldn't both play the same unique character.
Yes,
I wanted to
correct.
clarify.
So, Nick, what did you play at that tournament?
We
We did play Villain because we are a group of villains.
Yes, we are edgelords and sad boys.
Kanji Club.
Tell that to
Kanji Club.
Hashtag tell that to Kanji Club. So I played Cad Sienna, which was super fun. I did alright with it. I won our first match, and then I lost in the second match. Speaking of which, how'd you guys do? What'd you guys play?
Well, let's talk to the other member of our team for that.
I played a very well-known deck that terrorized metas for years, probably. At this point, it was called Talzin Hondo. It was the terror of the galaxy for a very, very long time.
You know, before the game even came out, they
Before the
said,
game even
we
came
gotta
out,
wait
yeah.
to print these characters because they are too big of a threat.
Just so scary. Really fun deck to play. Didn't end up getting any dubs with it, but that's what happens when you run into Sabine and Palpatine back to back. Too much damage thrown at you all at once, and a little oversight in the fact that you can't give Hondo a second chance when he's paired with a villain.
No,
So,
you can't.
Pro
No,
tip:
you can't.
give your Hondo a second chance.
So, and to round out our team, which we, of course, were the Kanji Club, is a really strong deck. It's a really great deck. It's pretty much has no main weaknesses. It's 5 battle droids. Have you ever rolled 5 battle droids with a squad tactics and rolled 5 blanks? Because I have. And let me tell you something. You might think it's hard to win that game after you do that. I wouldn't know because I didn't win it. So I think we as a team ran into a lot of big goose eggs that day.
Yep.
I mean, my team did okay.
I don't want to hear about it. Actually, I do want to hear about it. Tell me about it.
We did finish. We lost in the Constellation Championship. But to round it out, we had Jason, who's probably the best player in the Cloud City crew. He was running his Rey Ayla, getting some Worlds prep in. We had Tim, who's part of our Cloud City group. He was running every now and then.
Tim is a part of every group, but that's why we love Tim.
It is.
He
He
plays
is-
a lot of Destiny, and he really loves the game.
Tim's the traveler. He is
And-
all over the place.
yeah,
That guy
he-
has a ton of experience.
He's our informant.
You've heard of him. He's been to your events. He goes to everything. So credit.
He does.
Shout out to Tim.
He was running Mill. He was running the Yoda Double Jetta Mill. And I was running Pohan. Because, you know, I love running shenanigans and ambush quick draw shenanigans with hit and run. You'd think could do okay, but when you hit and run and you roll 4 blanks and a shield, that tells you how the day's going to go.
Quick question for you, Hoover. Do you mess with the Pohan?
You don't mess with
You
the
don't
Pohan.
mess with
Oh,
the
see, I
Pohan,
thought you
alright.
did.
No.
Their
But
hair
my-
is too fantastic. I don't know how
Too
you could mess with it.
It's amazing,
But
but
they drink fizzy bubbles.
they do.
Paul has
play
to have
hacky
enough
sack.
fantastic hair for the
Absolutely.
both of them.
But long story short, I kept losing, but my partners kept winning. So
That's what we refer to as failing upwards.
yes. So I lost round 1. I played Mike the Rebel Spy. Shout out to him. He was running Boba Phasma. I was running basically the hero version of it. It came down to a quick draw match, which he won in the end, rolling exact damage when I had lethal showing. Next round, I lost again. Someone playing Cad Lobot. But again, Jason was going 2-0 and Tim kept winning. So, you know, cool. Let's just keep on going.
See, while you guys won, we had fun, and that was the most important
Yes.
part. We got to educate a lot of people at that
Yep.
tournament.
You did.
We did.
You
It was-
educated a group from Wisconsin. It was
Exactly.
a good time.
We taught them some very interesting things that they didn't know about. We played a couple cool decks that no one would ever think to play.
Yep. Except for the person I lost to because he was playing Cad Lobot.
Ah! That's great.
But I did win one game.
But that is the moral of the story, folks. If you do meet us in person, see us at an event where we're doing okay at best. We do have a great time, and we do share some fun stories.
Okay, at absolute max.
Remember, the definition of casual is really not... It's not someone who's not good at the game. It's someone who refuses to be good at the game. And that's who we are as people. It's not that we're bad. It's just that we refuse to be good. But we're all petering out. We're all kind of meandering in random directions. So I think that's the go-home cue. I think we should be wrapping this one up
We have
before
one-
Nick can
No.
talk anymore.
This is a good thing. I like this.
Okay.
So at heart,
Let's just
This was
quick aside. Here comes all of the bad decisions in life. Continue.
all right. Well, we're gonna talk about Patty's life apparently. So,
Ooh, shots fired.
shots fired. But
That's called rolling 2 damage. That's 2 ranged over there.
All right, Nick, tell your story.
all right. At heart, all of this is because of Star Wars. Because we love Star Wars.
We do.
We started playing Destiny because we love Star Wars and the game looked fun. And I thought it'd be nice to just give a little insight into us and our love for Star Wars by asking everyone what their favorite Star Wars movie is. And maybe a couple seconds of why or what parts you really like.
Well, there really is only one true answer.
Is it Attack of the Clones?
It's Attack of the Clones. It's not Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones, shout out to Attack of the Clones. Watch it 6 times in a row. Really gives you a new perception on it.
Shout out to a movie.
Empire Strikes Back, Episode 5. It's the stock answer, it's the generic answer, and it's for good reason. That movie is phenomenal. It, of course, really kind of defines what Star Wars is, instead of just, it's a kind of a goofy little popcorn adventure. It has more depth to it, and that's really what I love about it. Plus, Carbonite, Cloud City. We're taking our name,
Triple C's.
Triple C's.
Triple C's.
Triple C's.
Shout out to the original Cloud City Casual, Lando Calrissian.
Oh, keep it at Lando. Keep it at casual.
Shout out to the original Cloud City Carbonite Han Solo.
Yeah. A lot of shout-outs here.
A lot of shout-outs. This is just episode 2, Attack of the Shout-outs.
Ooh, I like it. Alright, Hoover, we'll go to you, Free.
All right. I guess I'll change up the answer a bit since Empire is already taken.
Of course it was.
I'm gonna say Revenge of the Sith.
Ooh.
I'm going to offend people by saying a prequel movie was amazing.
I am one of those people he just offended.
I like
So, here is the reason why it is great. You have the best emotional lightsaber fight in the entire series at the end of that movie.
you do.
I highly disagree with that. I think when you have a 45-minute long lightsaber fight, you lose the emotion. But that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to crap on your favorite movie. I'm just going to back off and just say my barb and then drift back outward.
And so it can show... The movie, for what it was intended to do, didn't do it as well as I'd hoped of showing the faults of the Jedi. But it did highlight the faults for it to be corrected in the later parts of the series to come. Which is what it intended to do, was to show the fall of the Jedi to the rise of that spark of hope in the rebellion. And because of that, I felt it was a great setup movie for the original trilogy. It was a great bow on top of the beautiful present that was the prequels. And
Misa Bobo Binks.
and overall, I loved it because I just got to see more of my favorite Star Wars character of all time, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he made that movie amazing. And hello there, Marty. Why don't you tell us
Ewan
what your
McGregor
favorite
does
Star Wars?
every movie
Shout out
amazing.
to Obi-Wan Kenobi, by the way.
Shout out to the Ewan McGregor of our group, Marty.
That's true. Once again, yeah, Empire Strikes Back is the correct answer, but I will highlight my favorite, which is, again, more recent, and it's Rogue One.
Good choice.
I think Rogue One is representative of the fact that we have hope in the anthology movies, the movies that aren't core trilogy. And I will take this time to say that I didn't hate Solo, and if you do, screw you. It's fine. It's a good movie.
Shots fired.
Shots fired.
Yeah, Marty shot first.
Of course, that's what you do.
Marty with the ambush action.
But I think Rogue One represents what the anthology films are, which is fan service. And Star Wars, as Patty was highlighting earlier, is fan service. It's been fan service since day one. They take good care of us, so don't crap on them because they're still trying to take good care of us. This is Star Wars for a new generation, and I think Rogue One did a really good job of bridging the gap. Did it give us everything we wanted? No, nothing's always going to give us everything we wanted. KOTOR's never going to have a movie made about it, so stop complaining.
Everything we want. KOTOR. Everything we want.
Just getting back to the whole reason Nick did this, and we're here because we love Star Wars, and if you're going to talk bad about something you love, I get it. You can be critical, you can have original thoughts, but Rogue One was great. That was the best Vader scene in any of the movies when he drops those rebels.
I thought you were gonna say when he told him to choke on his ambitions.
And that was also my favorite.
God.
I mean, Vader puns are phenomenal because when you're not terrorizing the galaxy and fixing your starship up, you have to be perfecting your pun game. It's just
strong pun game.
And I think you just have so many introductions of so many great characters. Director Krennic, phenomenal. Now he's top and he's an icon.
Great character.
Bodhi Roke, my number one. The little known defector. I love Bodhi Roke, and Destiny should make a card of him very soon.
And I love Juan Solo. He's my favorite. That's Cassian Andor, by the way, if you're wondering.
With that, Nick, no one asks a question without wanting to answer it themselves. Nick, what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
It'll probably get more hate than Hoover's, but Force Awakens is my favorite Star Wars movie. I really like that movie.
That's not going to get more hate than a prequel.
Really? Revenge of the Sith was pretty solid. It was pretty solid for a prequel movie.
It was very solid for a prequel.
But I think, I know one of the main complaints for Force Awakens when it first came out was, it's just A New Hope. And to me, it was more of, they had themes in that movie from the entire original trilogy, and that was the point of the movie, was to, like Marty was talking with Rogue One, help bridge the gap from the older generation to the newer. And it had similar themes sharing throughout to show you it's a similar story and it's related, but it also did a lot of different things too, and I think it gets a bad rep for it being a pretty solid movie in my opinion.
Plus it introduced us to all of our new love interest, John Boyega. Shout out to Poe.
Yeah. And also
Oscar Isaac. A lot of hunks. A lot of hunks in that movie.
Boyega is Finn.
I know, but I'd say Oscar Isaac is Poe. Great.
Yeah.
I did mess it up.
Yep,
but
It's all right.
listen, I swear I know my Stars War. I know
Star Wars. This is the.
I love the phasers.
I love the phasers.
Beam us up.
And it introduced
light
us
swords.
to Edgelord, Supreme, Kylo Ren.
Ooh, Edgelord Supreme.
Matt Driver, I think his name is.
Adam
Driver.
See?
Sorry,
I know
Adam.
real names.
Shout out to you, Adam. You're amazing. And Kylo
a lot of
Ren,
hunks, like I said, a lot of hunks in that movie.
the opening scene of just stopping a laser bolt cannon in midair and letting it sit for 5 minutes before you walk on a ship and just was amazing. But yeah, I think that's it. We had a fun time. You guys go ahead and give us any feedback. Like we said, we're still trying to get this down. We want to work on anything we can. If you have any suggestions for us, any complaints, anything, send them to us.
Your suggestion could be don't make another podcast.
Yeah. And you know
That
what?
one
We
might
we
ignore.
do have a Patreon in the works, and that's going to be the top goal. If you pledge to give us $1,000, we will stop making
We will
podcasts.
stop making
You'll never have to
podcasts.
listen
You
to
will
us again.
never have to hear it again.
Absolutely.
If you hit 1 million, we'll stop playing Destiny.
Yeah, if you hit 1 million, we'll stop playing Destiny. We will never touch the game again.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to our podcast. And in the immortal words of Limp Bizkit, keep on rolling.
Oh god, that's
Ooh.
disgusting. Cut that, please.
Cut that. See you guys next time on Cloud City Movie Critics.
No, the last line of the podcast should just be me yelling, cut that! Cut that! Cut that!